So today's video, I'm going to show you how you can connect a bottom drain onto any pond and connect it to any type of filter system that's on the market. This method is extremely effective, costs are really low, and one of the best things of all, it's so easy you can do it yourself. If you're new to the channel, I own a company called Simply Ponds Limited, and this is our YouTube channel, and I'm the Pond Man. Feel free to check out our website and get in contact with us if you live in Sussex, Surrey, Hampshire for all your pond needs. If you haven't been on the channel before, our videos aren't really that fancy. Most of it is just me talking, but however, our content has high value and will make your pond life really easy and inevitably save you money. So if you want to learn about ponds and save some money at the same time, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free and it also shows us that people like our videos and will continue to make more. So one of the first videos we actually made on our channel was covering this subject. But this time I wanted to go into a little bit more detail, show some diagrams and also answer some feedback and some questions that we had on the previous video that we made. One of the main reasons we did this video in the first place was if you decided to go down the conventional bottom drain route, get ready to get your credit card out, because trust me, it's going to be very expensive and a lot of work. A conventional bottom drain system is literally one of the most expensive ways you could ever build a pond. The actual bottom drain and pipe work itself, you know, they're not expensive. It's how the bottom drain is connected to your filter system and where the filter system has to go, which costs the most. So if you don't know what a bottom drain system is, imagine your bath. The bottom drain is the plug, and instead of all the wastewater just going down the drain, everything from the plug or the bottom drain goes into your filter system. So why are bottom drains so popular? There are generally two reasons for this. The first one is effectiveness. They're very good at getting dirt from your pond into your filter system. The next one, and I think this is probably the biggest one, is really aesthetics. Lots of people have bottom drains because they don't want to see lots of pipework and pumps in view. Bottom drains tidy things up, hide pipes out the way. So let's get into the expensive part. So to do this, I'll show you how a conventional bottom drain system works, just to paint a picture for those people who aren't too sure. So as you can see, we have ground level pond. Now, we'll install the pond and then also add a bottom drain, and then connecting to the bottom drain is a series of pipe work. So as you can see, we've got a bottom drain and your pipe work in. Everything's pretty simple so far, but this is where things will start to take a turn for the worst. This is my opinion why a bottom drain filter system traditionally installed is one of the biggest wastes of money of all time. So let's install the bottom drain filter system. For the system to work properly, you have to install the filter at the same height as the pond. So now that the filter system is installed, we'll then add a pump and I'll show you what happens from here. So with the pump in place, you can either have it in the filter system or somewhere outside. So the idea of this filter system, so when you switch on your pump, it's basically draining the water out of the filter system, but because it's connected from the pond and it's all the same level, as water leaves the filter, water is actually being pushed back into it from the pond. This is basically water displacement. If you install this filter system correctly, when the pump's on, all the water and the pond should remain at the same level. This type of filter system is what they call a gravity-fed filter system. So it basically relies on gravity to level out the water when the pump's on. This filter system in practice is pretty simple, and obviously it does work because this is what water does. It will always level out. But the problem is, generally speaking, you're going to have a large filter system because the majority of ponds that use bottom drains have a large amount of water. So with a large filter system to cater for a large amount of water, you're going to need a pretty big hole in the ground to put the filter system in. And in some cases, you end up digging out almost the same size hole in the ground as your pond just to cater for your filter system housing. But you can't just dig a hole and leave the filter system in. For one, it will look hideous and it'll be a muddy mess. So to do it properly, you usually have to install a concrete floor. And not just that, you'll have to have some concrete walls for stability and also a cover just to hide things. And then again, another problem having a filter system in a housing like this is you need space to get in and move around. So quite common, filter system rooms are dug too small, obviously to keep costs down, and when it comes to maintenance, it's a real pain to do. Speaking of filter systems like this which are too small, here is an example of a filter system that we manage every year for one of our customers. We didn't build the pond, but we were asked to come and maintain the filter system for our customer, as there's no way she can do it on her own. Now this is quite common. As you can see, so it's a large filter system, but you know, it's quite small compared to some of them. But however, the room itself is pretty big compared to the size of the pond. Now, the problem with this pond is that there's drains along the bottom, but you cannot get to them because when they built it, they squashed in this big filter system into this room, concrete walls, concrete base, but you can't actually get to the drains. So to maintain it, we have to literally take everything out, vacuum all the water out, get all the dirt out, and then obviously put it all back together again. Where the idea is, you can actually empty the filter system using the drains at the bottom, but they don't work and you can't get there to unblock. So the only way we can access this filter system is through the top. Now speaking of the top, also majority of people will cover this filter system because they look pretty rubbish, to be fair, especially if it's in your garden. And obviously large covers to cover this much area, they're pretty heavy, and they're also a pain in the arse to move and to get to do your maintenance. So humans being humans, pond maintenance does become a bit of a nightmare when you have a filter system of this sort. And another big problem with these filter systems is they do end up being built next to the pond. So be prepared to do some prime position in your garden if you consider a filter system like this. So let's get on to this new system. I would say it's so new that we were actually the ones that invented this filter system style. We actually installed it on my father's pond about 17 years ago. Like I said, I'm going to show you a few diagrams just so you can get your head around it. You can connect this to any type of filter system, and the most important thing is you don't have to have a ridiculous filter room just to keep your filters in. So as you can see, here's the area where our beautiful pond is going to be. First of all, we put the pond in, add a bottom drain, and then we install some pipe work. The next part is what makes this system completely different to the rest. So instead of building a huge filter system room, all you need to do is install a pump chamber. Simple as that. It's not big. You can be installed next to the pond. You can install it at the end of the garden. It makes no difference. All you have to do is make sure it's big enough to house a pump, and also you need to keep the top of the pump chamber to the same height as the pond. So basically all that we're doing, adding a chamber, same height as the pond, and then we connect your bottom drain pipework to the bottom of this chamber. So once your pump chamber is installed, this is what's cool about this system. You add your pump, connect your pipework, and you can move your filter system anywhere you want. As you can see from my dad's pond, we put his filter system in the garage, and that was about 10 meters away. And another great thing about the system is you do not have to bury your pond filters. Most of the time, they're called pump-fed filter systems, which basically means that they have to be above the water level, which is ideal. So you can put them in the shed, at the end of the garden, in the garage, next to the pond, makes no difference. Another great thing about the system, you could add a large pump into the chamber and then split it off to a water feature, a water blade, or just circulate water around the pond. Or if you had a larger chamber, you can add more than one pump. Again, this is why the system is so easy and versatile. I also mentioned at the beginning of the video, I was going to go through a little bit of feedback we had on the previous video that we made. So there were a few concerns, nothing too major, but one of them was that, isn't the pump going to chop up all the waste? Now, it might chop the waste up a little bit, but it isn't a food processor. It goes through very, very quickly. So it might break it up a little bit, yes, but it's still going to be in a large form for your filter to catch. So don't overthink things too much. Yes, it might break it up a little bit, but your filters are designed to catch like the smallest of particles. So whatever goes into your filter system will catch it. And another good comment we had was, oh, it just defeats the purpose of a gravity filter system. Well, yeah, 100% it defeats, because this is a pump fed system opposed from gravity, so it's completely different. And I think a lot of the negative feedback we had on our video last time was probably, in fact, a lot of the negative feedback we get from our channel seems to be from biased people that perhaps maybe have a filter system which was a gravity system, which cost them pretty much thousands of pounds to do, and at the back of their mind they're wishing that they did it this way instead. So one of the small drawbacks you will get with doing the system like this is the pump cage is obviously going to be first in line with most of the debris, so the cage will need some maintenance. But if you look at it this way, the dirt's either going to go into the filter or it's going to get caught in the cage, the larger parts, not the smaller bits, but the leaves and things. So they're either going to get caught in the cage or they're going to get caught in the filter. So unless you're prepared to spend thousands of pounds for something unnecessary that you're going to have to clean anyway, doesn't make sense to me. Yes, the cage mainly cleaning, but you know, you could go one step further. You could put a screen in the chamber just to sort of screen out some of the larger bits before it reaches the pump. But again, it's up to you. If you're willing to spend the money, go for it. But this is a great way of doing things to move your filter system to a better spot without costing the earth. Well, that's all for now. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you found it useful, let us know. Click on the like button and also consider subscribing for more. Thanks for watching.